A very good morning, children. Today I am going to continue with the same lesson of Science 2, that is chapter 5, towards green energy. So far, in previous lectures of this lesson, you have studied different method of generating electricity, as the electricity generation from thermal power plant, from the hydroelectric power plant, from nuclear power plant. So many topics you have studied. Today I am going to continue with the generation of electricity through the solar energy. As you all know, children, that sun has the infinite power of the energy, and this energy is in the form of, this is the sun, this energy is in the form of the solar energy. But how we can harness this energy? We know that different methods are there, or different ways are there by which we are using this energy, but here to harness this energy we are using this solar panels, as well as we are using the photovoltaic cells. Photovoltaic cell I'll just explain you in the next video, children. Now here you all see that how this solar panel are generating the electricity. Further it goes to the home, and further is go to the industries, and how it is used. Now see here, children, it is 100% clean energy. And now two topics I had to explain you. First is that first method, that without using principle of electromagnetic induction, and without using generator. Here directly with the help of solar photovoltaic cells, the solar energy is converted to electrical energy. And in the second way, the solar radiation is first converted into thermal energy, and then a turbine generator system is driven using this thermal energy to generate the electricity. Now first let us explain you the structure of the this solar cell, how it works. So let us continue, children. In this video I'll show you how the sun's energy is converted to the electrical energy. Before that, we will study two types of the doping, that is N doping and P doping. N mean negative, P mean positive. Here you can see, children, that there is a structure of the silicon atom. Here 4 electrons are there, 1, 2, 3 and 4. These are known as the valency electron. Now let me show you that how these pure sheets of the silicon in this pure sheets of the silicon, we can see the millions of atoms are there, and here the electrons are free to move. Now phosphorus also having the more electron, and we can see that a pure sheet of silicon is injected with a phosphorus atom with the silicon. This phosphorus is having the valency, that is 5. Now phosphorus is with the silicon. We can see that we have to take another sheet of pure silicon, and we will inject the boron atom in that. Now as a result, we can see that there will be holes or empty space created, and it would be created in this sheet, and we can see that first sheet of silicon and phosphorus. Here you can see this is the first sheet of silicon and phosphorus, that is having the higher concentration of electron, while second sheet with the silicon and boron has the less concentration of the, this is the second sheet, it is having the less concentration of electron, so it is having positive charge, while the first one is having negative charge. Now here it is called as the p-n junction. Now from n region, some electrons move to the p region. As a result, depletion region is formed. And remember that there are no free electron or the holes in the depletion region. Due to migration of electron from the boundary of n region, this n region boundary will become slightly positively charged. You can see here, children, that this is becoming positively charged here. Now, while the boundary with the p side will become little bit negatively charged. I'll show you different colors so you can understand. This become slightly negatively charged. An electric field will be formed between the n region and p region. This electric field will provide the necessary force to migrate the electron from n region to the p region. When the electron from n region to the p region they are moving, then when the sunlight strike the photovoltaic cell, then the n region, this sunlight is penetrating. As you all know that sun is having the photons. So these photons are having the energy, and this energy will generate more electron in the whole pair in depletion region. So now existing electric field drives the electron out of the depletion. Here you can see, children, that there is one electric conductor. I'll show you here. This is electric conductor is just attached with this, and this is the load or the bulb. Now this bulb start glowing due to the potential difference which is generated, and here the DC current is generated. Now we can see that one solar cell can only generate 0.5 volt to 0.6 volt. Here you can see 0.5 volt to 0.6 volt. It means a cell is enough to charge a calculator or cell phone. This is a structure of the, we can see it is the structure of the solar panel. Here you can see this is the structure of the solar panel. So let me show you the structure of solar panel in detail, children. You can draw this diagram. It is very nice diagram and very clear to you. This is the structure of the solar panel. I have shown you in detail. Now I'll explain the main topic to you. Now let me start with the solar photovoltaic cell, children. I'll explain you here. The solar photovoltaic cells convert the solar radiation energy directly into the electrical energy. This is called the solar photovoltaic effect. Here you can see how this convert the solar radiation into electrical energy, and this is called the solar photovoltaic effect. The electrical energy which is generated through this, that is transformation process in the DC nature. Already I told you that it is the direct current or the DC in nature. This solar cell are made up of some specific type of material, that is silicon, and it is semiconductor. Semiconductor mean it can partially conduct the energy. A silicon solar cell of dimension of 1 centimeter square generates the current of about 30 milliampere, and potential difference is how much, children? 0.5 volt. So a silicon solar cell of dimension, if you are taking 100 centimeter, here you can see, children, it is 100 centimeter square, that will generate about 3 ampere. 3 ampere mean 30 milliampere per centimeter square into 100 centimeter square. It will become 3000 milliampere, or we can tell as the 3 ampere. As you all know, children, in the 1 ampere how many milliampere are there? 1000 milliampere. That is why 3000 milliampere will be equal to 3 ampere current. And how much is the potential difference? That is 0.5 volt. You can see here it is 0.5 volt. Now always you should know that potential difference available from a solar cell is independent of its area. Here you can see one chart is there, that energy in sunlight with the help of photovoltaic effect, it is changed to the DC electric power. Now, let me tell you that if we are taking two solar cells, these are connected in the series. Here you can see, children, two ways are there to connect the this cells. First, this already in Ohm's law you have studied, children, that two cells are there. In the this first method you can see that they are connected to, in the first method you can see, children, that they are connected into the here I'll show you, children, that in the first method they are connected in the series way. So here the potential difference obtained from this combination is the addition of potential difference of individual solar cell. However, we can see the current generated from this combination is equal to the current from an individual cell. It means that when solar cells are connected in series, current from the individual cells are not added. Only the potential difference, only the V is added. That means V total will be equal to V1 plus V2. Now, let us see in the second distinct, children. Let us see in second figure. Here they are connected in the parallel. Here you can see they are connected in the parallel. So now in this case, when the two solar cells are connected in parallel, the current generated from this combination is the summation of the current from an individual solar cell, and the potential difference obtained from this combination is the same as the potential difference obtained from the individual cell. So if two solar cells are connected in parallel, the potential difference from them or from these two cells is not added, only the current is added. That means I is equal to I1 plus I2. Now we will see, children, that by connecting many solar cells in series and in parallel, solar panels are formed which are generating the energy or the current required, and the potential difference are made. Now here you can see these are the solar panel. These are the solar panel. You can see here so many this photovoltaic cells are connected here. I'll show you. These all are the photovoltaic cells which are connected here. You can see. So this is a solar panel which is made from the 36 solar voltaic cell or photovoltaic cells. Now if 36 solar cells each of size 100 centimeter square are connected in the series in a solar panel, it will give potential difference of 18 volt and the current of 3 ampere. Many such panels which are connected together to generate the electricity on the larger scale. So when we need electricity on larger scale, then so many panels are first of all, when we are making solar panel, we are connecting so many photovoltaic cells. Now when we want to generate the electricity in greater amount or larger amount or on the industrial base, then we are connecting so many solar panels. A good solar cell can have an efficiency of around 15%. That means solar panel which receives the power of 100 watt from solar radiation, the electrical power output from the panel will be 15 watt only. Now Many solar panels are connected in series and many are connected in parallel so that they can generate the required amount of the current as well as potential difference. Now, here one more figure is there, children, that I'll show you. See this figure. Here, this figure you can see, children. Here, I'll show you. Solar cells to solar array. That means so many solar cells are connected in series and parallel. Then solar panel are made. Then solar panel are connected in the parallel series, and then this way solar array are made. So here we can see that how many solar panels are connected. Many solar panels are connected in series and in parallel to generate the required current and potential difference. Now, solar cell is the basic unit of what, children? Solar cell is the basic unit of solar electric plant. Many solar cells come together to form a solar panel. So, here I'll show you many solar panels connected in series form a solar string, and many solar strings then they are connected in parallel to form a solar array. So this point you have to learn that what are solar array. Many solar panels connected in a series form a solar string, and many solar string then they are connected in parallel to form the solar array. Now one more point here is there to learn, children, that these many solar cells are coming together or connected together to form a solar panel. So this way we can obtain as much electrical power is needed, and they are used in applications which needs the marginal power, example calculator that run on solar energy to power station of megawatt capacity. So here we can see how the structure of the solar array and solar panel takes place. Now the power which is available from the solar cell to DC. So here what is power available, that is from the solar cell is DC mean direct current. So we will see here the power available from the solar cell is DC. DC mean direct current, and so in application which need the DC power, example the electric light based on light emitting diodes. So here you can see this, and as well as the energy can be directly used. So that is also one benefit, that the energy can be directly used. Now since the energy from the solar cell is available only in the presence of sunlight, that is why this energy has to be stored in batteries for the use at the latter time. So we have to, as at home, when some problems comes, then whatever money we are saving, with that we are managing. Same way here, you all know that sunlight is during daytime only. So in presence of sunlight, whatever the energy is generated, that energy should be stored in the batteries so that we can use later. Now, however, most of the equipment in domestic as well as in industrial use, they run on the AC power. So that point you have to keep in mind, that most of the equipment which we are using at home, domestic mean at home, as well as in the industries also that run on the AC power. AC mean alternating current. So the DC solar power must be converted to the AC power. So that point you have to keep in mind, children, that here this DC power should be changed or converted to the AC power by using an electronic device that is called the inverter. So this is also very important point, children, that you have to learn that how with the help of the inverter the direct current or DC current that is converted to the AC power or alternating current. So this way we can see how here the structure of solar cell. From the solar cell it is stored in the batteries. From the batteries it goes to the inverter. These are the solar cell. Ultimately this energy is stored in the batteries. From batteries it goes to inverter, and from inverter the electric equipments working on the AC power or alternating currents are used. So this is all about the solar energy here, children. Then now the remaining part we will continue in the next lecture, as it is the big topic. Okay, thank you, children. And whatever important point I have highlighted, that you have to write in your rub book and learn it, because during the board exam this all point will help you. So no need of mugging up whole book. Only you have to open your rub book, or you can especially make one more book for the science that you can use at home. In that, whenever I am teaching the chapter, that time whatever the important point are there related to that topic, that mostly I am highlighting, that you should write all the point. As you all know that nowadays you are having time after the lecture, you can write these all point, and these all point you always keep in your mind. Always revise one chapter's point, you go on revising, so that full chapter will be in your mind, children. So whenever the exam is there, you can write down in your language. So that will help you during the exam. No need of at the last moment, no need of just mugging up the full book. And already I told you all the diagram and the formulas related with that you write in your one book, or you can write in one chart. And wherever you are sitting for study, there you have to stick that chart, so that every day whenever you sit there for study, that time you have to just see toward that chart and just learn that formulas, as well as just see the diagram of that, and once you practice, so that will be easy during the exam. So next this thing, the little bit portion of this is remaining, that will continue in the next lecture. I hope that you might have understood, children, and you might have enjoyed this lecture. And in homework you have to draw the photovoltaic cell, then you have to draw the solar panel, then you have to draw the solar array. These all are the important topic of this chapter. And you have to learn that what is the difference when the solar cells are connected in series, and in other case when the solar cells are connected in parallel. When they are connected in series, that time we have to see, or we have to add the V will be equal to V1 plus V2, while in case of the solar cell, when they are connected in parallel, that time we have to add I is equal to I1 plus I2. So that you have to keep in your mind and study nicely this topic. I hope that all the uh, subtopics, all the whatever I taught in this lecture, all the points must be clear to you. Thanks, children. So all the diagram also you practice in your that notebook only. One special notebook you prepare all the important point and all the diagram in that, so you keep ready so that during exam you can study nicely.